So, you're on AMS2 and strive to recreate a historic or current race in a special motorsports series. Thanks to the cars, classes, and series, the dozens of tracks, and of course, last but not least, the Avid modding community, recreations for various races are possible. Some can be done to almost 100%, while others still come pretty close, I'd say. Here, I'm going to show you how this is done by the example of the F1 1998 Argentine Grand Prix in Buenos Aires. So the easiest way is to actually select a preset. In our case, this is the Formula V10. Then, as we'd like to create a special race, we hit single race and then pick the generation 2. This model represents the F1 years between 1998 and theoretically 2004. And I think it's most appropriate for 98, 99, 2000, and perhaps still 2001. So now, to make this class work and have these wonderful authentic liveries, you will have to go to Overtake and download the Skinpack plus Custom AI by Lady Crusette. The link is in the description, so go on Overtake, make sure you have a membership, download it, and the easiest way to install it is via AMS2 Content Manager. So if you do not have this program, you will also find it on Overtake. It's a very handy drag and drop solution for installing mods. Highly recommended. So as you can see, this is how the modded textures look, and as we're only seeing here the car liveries, I can tell you that also all the textures for all the drivers' helmets, gloves, and overalls have been updated and corrected to make them look authentic. And except for all the real cars in there are also 2 more. That's because of Razer, as they have put 24 cars in that class, and Lady Crusette opted to give these 2 slots to the Lola Mastercar team, which, as a matter of fact, was not competing in the 98 championship. As far as I know, AMS2 is the only game that features the Buenos Aires track of that year, at least originally in the game. And thanks to the presets, the game has already decided the correct layout for us. If I disable the preset filter, the selection will look like this. We will have 7 different layouts for the Buenos Aires track. It's number 15, 12, 9, 7, 6, and 6 with the Senna S. Difference can be seen here. Again, let's enable that preset filter and just pick the track. So the game has now remembered my last settings. You can tweak them as you want. Yeah, so go for longer practice sessions if you want or not. That's up to you. You can also go for a very short qualifying session, but in reality, they of course did 1 hour at 1 p.m. Let's pick real time and real historic weather. Let's save that. And now, here's the thing. The game already has decided for us I think that was the correct number of laps. They did 72. I've already edited the real date, which was, yes, April 12, 1998. Starting time, 1400. Go to real time for time progression. And here you can see I've picked weather manually. And this is due to the fact that the weather the game chose was not like the real weather back then. I've rewatched the whole race, and they actually started with heavy clouds. It was pretty unstable weather. The air was rather damp, but the track was, well, one would say, dry. Later, there was a big shower and the track was pretty wet, and in the end, it again stopped raining. Well, with real weather, I haven't been able to achieve that. I've played around with the starting time, putting it earlier, putting it up to 2 hours later. It wouldn't work. So I finally decided to go for 4 slots of manual weather. Then weather progression sync to race, meaning the weather in the race will then more or less change accordingly to the race time. So if you pick 4 weather slots, these will distribute it equally. Start type is also pre-selected, that's correct. Formation lap, no, and that's also grayed out. In AMS2, if you go for a standing start, there will never be a formation lap. It's either or. Rolling start, there could then be a formation lap. Pit stop refueling, yes, also pre-selected by the game, correct. Mandatory pit stop, actually no, but the tank was not big enough for a whole race distance, so, well, that's implied then. You will have to come to the pits. But you were not obliged to change tires. So you could go through with your starting set of tires. Schedule full course yellows? Oh, thank God, no. And live track preset, well, that's up to you. I think for the race, heavy rubber should be chosen. Let's save that. Now, very important. Remember, because we have 24 cars in the class, the V10 Gen 2, the game will automatically go for max available opponent number type, and that's of course not what we want. We want a custom number, because in the real race there were only 22 cars. So let's dial that down to 21. We, the player, are number 22. So how now do we get rid of the 2, let's say, wrong drivers in the Lola now here in the game? Well, the easiest way would be to give this XML file a different name, like I did here. I saved it then under FV10 Gen 2 plus Lola, which of course are these 2 guys. Yeah, let's save that. And for the real file, with the one you want the game to pick with only the correct drivers, I would then just go for deleting these 2 guys, throw them out of the file, and then save the file. I've already done that under the correct name, which the game can read, which is fb10 gen2.xml. Thus, you have done it in a non-destructible way, still have the original data from the mod, but also a working file for an authentic recreation of the 98 Argentine race. AI skill is of course up to you. I have found that, let's say, 100 to 105 is sort of the sweet spot, depending on the track, and if you want to go for more or less real times on these tracks. Also here, remember, the AI doesn't have special quali settings, so the times they achieve in the quali are more or less also the times they will achieve in the race. There's not much of a difference, and the AI, as a matter of fact, does not suffer very much from full tires or full tank. This is up to you. I've found that 0.99 is a pretty good value when racing in the wet against the AI, because also here they are still on other physics, so to say, and still have more grip overall in the wet than the player. AI aggression, I normally go with medium, sometimes low. Wouldn't recommend high. Also up to you. AI mistakes is a crucial one. For more action, choose a higher value. I think it depends on the class you're racing. As we're doing same class, one class racing here, we could raise that value actually a bit more, or yeah, a bit more action on the track. If you're doing endurance racing with the common classes or some fancy combinations, I'd recommend to lower that value, even below the standard of 1.0. Here we can go for 3 times. For completion's sake, let's hit the rules and penalty tab, but also here everything is spot on, as the preset for the V10 Gen 2 class has already selected everything correctly for us. Another vital point, don't forget to go into the options. You can do that from the pre-race screen here, where you select all the details. Go to options, go to gameplay, and then check your authenticity settings. Well, this is all your preference, of course. Choose full damage, and perhaps even go higher for damage scale than medium. But be aware of the fact that, especially with open wheelers, sometimes just a glance to your opponent is enough to get some damage. Mechanical failures, yes, of course, because that's the spice we need. And random failures really is an important one, guys. So, like everything, also that depends on you, but read the text here to the right to get some more info on it. You could put it on authentic or on sync to race if you're going for a whole distance race, like we will be doing here, so to say, 72 laps. Then these two values would or could or should be the authentic pick. If you're not going for the full distance, maybe choose an accelerator to have the best experience. This value, which affects our car as well as the AI cars, also correlates with the chosen class and the value for vehicle reliability in the custom AI. So it makes a huge difference if, for example, you're driving a 60s or 70s F1 car or a rather modern one, like for example also these here, the V10 class. The older ones are much more prone to having failures than the newer ones. In general, if there were about 10 DNFs in the race you want to recreate, maybe make sure to use a multiplayer here for the best experience. Tire wear, I only put on authentic. Everything else feels awkward, in my opinion, period. Fuel usage, of course, depends on the amount of laps or distance you're racing. As we're doing the whole distance, we should also put it on authentic. If you're doing 50% of the distance, put it on 2, put it on 3 for a third, 4 for a fourth, and so on. 5 here is the max, by the way. Rules and penalties, of course, I have on. Auto start engine, no. Manual rolling start, yes. And these two are yes for manual pit stop and on for manual cooldown lap. Again, these are, well, subjective and personal preference. That's also important. Don't hit exit. Hit back to get back to your pre-race or pre-session screen. And as a matter of fact, we are now set up for the race. In my case, we would be doing a 45 minutes practice session. Also, I recommend to do the quali because thus you will have the most authentic grid and level of performance, balance of performance order. If you're not doing it but have it calculated, the results won't be as good. You will not have to do it 1 hour because, well, time is precious. But I at least recommend to do, let's say, 20 minutes. That'd be the minimum for every car to have a proper chance to put in a good lap. So that's it, basically. The most crucial factors for me are, of course, the AI skill. I always go for a sweet spot of authenticity / real times, personal challenge, and fun. And if this combination happens to be close to what they did in real life, time-wise, pace-wise, that's great. And the second very crucial thing, of course, is the weather. I'd say in 50, perhaps 60% of the times, the real weather preset in AMS 2 works. At least it is close to the real thing. 100%, I don't know. Perhaps never, especially if there were some dynamics in the race. Prepare yourself for the fact that you will have to set the weather manually. Other than that, all I can say now is try it for yourselves, because for historic F1, especially, in my opinion, there is no better sim for recreating historic races against AI with real names and values. At least regarding the ease of setup and the fun you will have. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one. All the best. Bye.